Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do miss something, remember this, we got you covered as we'll post the show, all 3 hours of it, to iTunes upon the conclusion. Go rate, review, share with your friends, helps others find the program. You can also find it on the website in the archived audio, ESPNTallahassee.com. You want to email us, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. Utilize the WTSM app, folks. It's good stuff. It's free for all mobile devices as well. Hello, YouTubers. I hope you're well. Periscopers to boot. All right, so yesterday I took the day off. Spent a little me time on my birthday. Went golfing, well, until I got rained on. But that was nice. Got to see my man Butch at the range and had a good time talking with him. And then I read my book, Tom. And then from there I had a nice dinner with the family at Bumpus, and we just kind of hung out there, the whole group. My family they actually got me something this year.
Oh, a pretzel from Bumpus.
We did get one. Bryce likes them just like you do.
Ah.
Yeah, so.
Smart young lad.
Yeah, so we shared in that, but I had a nice cold beer, and I went to bed. That was it. That was the end of it. But because I did that, we've yet to talk about the topic du jour, and we got to get straight to it.
Happy 50th, buddy.
It's 48. Everybody did that. They all did it. You love to make me feel slightly uncomfortable. Yeah, I know.
You'll be in the best shape of your life since about age 35 when you're 50.
That is true, and it's funny that you bring that up because I actually did. The first thing I did yesterday was work out vigorously with my friends at Orange Theory. I did not take that opportunity to promote Orange Theory, although I am currently, but I did it because I was filled with gratitude yesterday, filled with not just a sense of gratitude, but a look back, not nostalgia necessarily, just kind of a look at my life in the last, say, 10 years, 20 years. I didn't go all the way back to my childhood or whatever. And I realized how fortunate I was. And I thought, well, embrace that. Take some time to think about how lucky you are. And one of the things I thought about is I know a lot of people who've had some tough medical situations, some people who aren't with me anymore in terms of friends, and some others that have had maladies that nobody would ask for. And I realized, well, working out can be hard, but there'd be a lot of people who'd love to be able to do it right about now. So that was the first thing I did. And we had to start with a 2,000-meter row, timed. And I went, oh, okay, well, we're getting after it today. It was one of those benchmark days where they get you going. So that's what I did. And I'm sore as hell today, Tom, but it occurred to me as I was talking to people yesterday, I might be in better shape by the time I'm 50 than I was at 40. There's a real good chance I already am. In that sense, I've had to slow down certain things, maybe not get as gluttonous as I used to be. And I've decided to focus on other things like cardio, which I never did, ever, because I hated it.
Not carbio.
No, cardio. Yeah. So there you are. That's where we're at. All right, so the finals, that was a ridiculous game the other night, and I do want to start with that because we've talked plenty of baseball, and we talked 2 hours of baseball after this hour is up with Seminole headlines. And I will touch back on Florida State in a moment, but I watched every second of that finals game. I don't know why, but I got a second wind when we were tired, and I stayed up and watched that game. I got glued to it. And let's start with the obvious, the Kevin Durant injury. A myriad of things to touch on with this. I've heard a lot since that injury occurred and a lot of conversation about who's to be blamed, if anybody should be blamed, how it affects free agency this upcoming offseason, which selfishly and regrettably, as kind of a fan now, having reinvested here in this postseason, we were in store for the summer of a lifetime. I mean, this was going to be fascinating to see where everybody went. And to some degree it still is, but a little less so now. In that Kevin Durant has a decision to make, so do the Warriors, so do the Knicks, and some other people now that he's torn his Achilles. That's problematic. First things first, I can't blame, and you can't accurately assess exactly who's at fault for this because we don't have the medical records. I wasn't looking at what led to the decision to play or not play, both by the organization or the player. or the doctors or the agents or anybody else in between who would have had a say, obviously, in that decision. So short of being in a room, maybe getting a better understanding of the percentages, like if you play, here's the chance or the likelihood you could be hurt. Here's oh no, you're totally cleared, or I wouldn't do it, KD. We don't know what was said, okay? So ultimately, though, in today's NBA, it's about the player. The player dictates terms to a degree that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Players have more control than ever before. They put together super teams, not just because they get together behind the scenes and talk about where they would like to all end up together, which means that a coach is, in essence, really at their beck and call at that point. You can't get too serious with guys when your fear is that they'll walk. The team's not siding with you, man. There are a few coaches that have that power. Pop's one of them. That's about it.
But it's not like guys are running to San Antonio to play with Pop, as much as they all love him. Right.
Interesting. Yeah. So here's the thing. The player wields total control, and not just because where they go and how they decide to make up these super teams, but also because of all the people they assemble now. The money's so great off the court. So they've got, their PR people, their agents and lawyers, obviously, but they've got their own doctors, a lot of them. They've got all of this in place. So much so that to the point, Kawhi Leonard, the other best player in the game, played 9 games last year for San Antonio after San Antonio's doctors late in the year cleared him. They said, "You're cleared to play." And he went, "Yep, yeah, suck it. I'm not playing. I don't trust you because I think you have the organization in mind and not my health, not my long-term free agency or anything else. I don't feel right. My leg still hurts. I got a problem, and I'm not going out there to play. And you can call me what you want to call me, and I can take the derision from the media and the public because he doesn't care about the media and the public. That's where it helps to be like him. You can never tell how one's wired, but I legitimately don't think he cares at all what you or I say or anybody else, whereas KD very much does. Now, having said all that, the player ultimately dictates whether they're going to play or not play. And so you can't, I think if you're going to play the blame game, you can't really lay that at the feet of Golden State. It would have to be, if you're going to try to blame anybody, just frankly, you'd have to say, well, I guess Kevin Durant shouldn't have played, but I don't really want to blame anybody. I think, the doctors probably cleared him. They told him, look, are you 100% no? But you're cleared to practice. We've had a good look at you in practice, and it's not the same as playing in a game. Go easy, see how you feel. If you start to feel a little tightness or something, you can come out of the game. But he wanted to give it a go.
Well, I think the question is, do you believe, as a fan, as a neutral observer, people listening, that the doctors are James Woods in any given Sunday, or the doctors are a little bit more ethical than that?
I'm sure they're a lot more ethical than that. Golden State's a really well-run organization. That matters. They're a really well-run organization top to bottom.
If it was the Mets...
of course. Then I would just blame incompetence. I wouldn't even say it was a conspiracy. I'd say they're just dumb. They have a track record of, getting guys hurt because they don't know what they're doing. And if it were the Mets and he were a baseball player, he wouldn't have played. He'd have said, no, I've seen this. I know how this works. Yeah, I'm going to go out there first time I run to first, I'm done for the year. Or the first pitch I throw, this thing's falling off. But no, I just think that's an unfortunate set of circumstances. It sucks. He plays in whatever it was, 10 of the first 12 minutes, and he's hitting threes left and right. He's moving pretty fluidly. Obviously, he felt good enough to go play, and he gave it a go, and he got hurt. Sucks for all parties involved. I hate it for him. I don't necessarily blame him. I think it takes a lot of courage relative to sport to go give it a go in that situation with your pending free agency on the line, with all the money you're about to make. Putting that in jeopardy because you want to be out there for your team who's down 3-1 is admirable. Turns out he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, now this is after the fact, but obviously, given the result, he shouldn't have done it. Sucks, but I'm not mad at him. I get it. I get wanting to play.
Yeah, that's Charles Barkley was blaming the organization, and he also was kind of blaming the media.
Get out of here with that.
I know. But the funny part was the punchline. You know how I know that? Because he tore his Achilles when he went out there and played. No, I know he shouldn't have played. That's how I know.
Yeah. Well, again, sucks. He went out and tore his Achilles. That's a problem injury, too, by the way. In the history of the NBA, your better players that have had that happen to them, including Kobe Bryant, were never the same. They could come back and be good, but they were never consistently the same.
I thought it interesting that Rachel Nichols was on the ground talking to Steve Kerr after the game, and for lack of a better term, he was essentially muttering to himself walking out of the facility saying, they said he was good to go. Everybody said he was
Steve
clear.
Kerr was saying that?
Yes, almost as though he was, just in shock, in a state of shock, walking out of the building.
We'll never know. They're never going to reveal, unless there's some sort of lawsuit, we're never going to know to what degree he was hurt.
Well,
we don't know.
Also, think about it. Whoever gets the exclusive interview with Kevin Durant, first time he speaks after the surgery, that's a big interview. It might be nothing. He may say nothing, but he might say something. And if he does, that changes the way this is going to be viewed for a long time.
I just have a hard time believing that there were people in that organization that were pushing him to play, forcing him to play to the point where he would ignore medical advice or from his own doctors or the feeling in his body. If he felt for a second, athletes are the most finely tuned machines. I've been around some elite athletes. You've been around elite athletes. These guys are otherworldly in the knowledge of their bodies.
Yeah, case in point, Dalvin Cook hamstring.
Oh, it's unbelievable. These guys do things that I just marvel at. And because that's their instrument. They're artists, man, and they know. Look at track guys, man. Track guys more than almost anybody else know when they're calibrated right, when they're aligned properly, when their muscles are doing what they're supposed to do, firing the right way, especially sprinters, right? These guys know. But it's not that far of a stretch to look at the best player in the NBA, the best player in the National Football League, the best player. These guys, this is where they make their money. If they go out there and they feel like something's not right, something's tugging, something's pulling a little bit, something's tightening up every time they try to do what they get paid to do and to be at their best, they don't play. They don't play. This seems to me like it was a little bit of a really unlucky set of circumstances. Was the calf hurting to the point where he couldn't tell that the Achilles was affected and he thought, oh, the calf's sore, I can play on it, not knowing that it was going to cause him to overcompensate and tear his Achilles? Or did he always have an Achilles injury and we don't know about it?
Well,
we'll never know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, unless KD can clear the air here a little bit if he wants to, and we'll see.
But he chose to play is my point. And if you do that and then go back and blame the team, that ain't a good look, man.
Well, he ain't exactly walking out of your camp into, your hated camp. He'll just remain where he was in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I don't hate KD. I admire his skills. I hate that he's so weak mentally, caring about what Phil and Tacoma thinks. Anyhow.
But that first injury, the initial speculation was Achilles, and then they came out post-game that night.
And said calf.
Remember, they said, it's not an Achilles. We cannot be clear enough. It's not an Achilles.
But you do remember how everybody immediately who has seen a lot of Achilles injuries go, that looks like an Achilles, because he felt like he had been shot. Like
Reggie Miller, who was sitting courtside, immediately said, oh, no, that's an Achilles.
Yeah. Well, and so did everybody who's ever had an Achilles watching the injury go, oh, I know what that's like. He felt like somebody kicked him. That's why he jerked around so quickly. Sucks. But I think this goes 7 now. So, what you do get is Steph and Clay being the greatest backcourt in the history of basketball, hitting shots that are insane.
And so you got the full 2-month NBA Finals.
Yeah,
which
what I wanted, which
is
almost
good.
Gets us to July to go with FSU baseball.
Right.
We have benefited greatly.
So you got a major, and then you've got FSU baseball on Saturday that pairs with the major. It's like a fine dinner with a nice wine, perfectly paired. And then Sunday, you get the conclusion of said major with more college baseball.
Tomorrow's the day I'll give you a prediction on Florida State baseball for the College World Series. I've been working up to it.
You're giving yourself a deadline.
I've given myself a deadline for tomorrow. I began to get some inkling today, a feeling a little bit about today. There's two distinct ways to look at this matchup against Arkansas. First of all, I don't like the matchup, but I do think we get helped out by the fact that ballpark is cavernous. And they club, so that could be mitigated some. And,
You're looking at the top of the lineup.
Yeah. So I just
if you have 2018 Drew Parrish for a day.
Yeah, man, and you can put it over the plate, man, because it's hard to hit it out of that ballpark. If that game's being played here or at Arkansas's place, I don't like our chances. But some of the strengths that Arkansas has does get not nullified, but certainly mitigated by that ballpark.
If it's played here,
Oh, no.
and they throw their ace against Parrish.
Well, and also all their lefties. They've got all those lefties in the lineup.
We're going right over that fence.
No, we're going to get clubbed. No, I wouldn't. No.
Like a kid who doesn't know how to put topspin with a tennis forehand. Just goes right over the fence.
Boom! It would be problematic. I thought the most touching thing I heard this week, though, was Mike Martin driving over there talking about the realization it was his last practice at Hauser, man. That's pretty cool.
Unless he wins it, he's coming back.
Well, this is it, though. I think he knows this is it. And this group has already done us proud. I'm not saying go out there and lose. I am saying that if it happens that they lose, we did not expect them to be in the College World Series. And baseball being baseball has never been more clear than watching the number one national seed, UCLA, who hadn't lost a series the entirety of the year, lose at home to Michigan, who hasn't been to the College World Series since '84. It sums it up. Georgia. Their pitching was elite all year. They didn't lose back-to-back games at home in Georgia all year. Swept, pounded, pulverized, emasculated by a team that was a 3 seed who barely made the tournament. It's so hard to pin down what's going to happen with these games, with these teams and these kids' emotions, that I can't sit there and tell you that even though Arkansas, I think, is a bad matchup for us, that we can't go win the game. It's a singular game. You could go win that game. A lot of line shots could be right at our guys.
Sure.
Drew could pitch a great game. We might just...
You could win comfortably. You could win close. Yeah. You could get your doors blown off. You could lose close.
Right.
It's baseball.
It's baseball. It's an absurdly tough game, especially in the finite. In the short, the truncated, it's very difficult. You judge baseball over 162 games, and there's a reason for that in the major leagues. Because as we always say, the worst team in the league beats the best team in the league on the regular. It happens every year in baseball. Somebody rolls in to play the Royals. They got the best record in baseball. They lose 9-1. You're like, they'll play tomorrow. They'll probably win the series, but they got their ass kicked tonight because it's baseball. It's just what happens. So that's kind of what I'm holding on to right now. And that maybe there's magic in the air.
But yet there's more deliberating to do.
There is more deliberating to do, and I'll do it tomorrow. And we got other things. Chef Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
It's almost summer, and the whole family wants to get outside. Luckily, the incredible Honda Pilot is here to help. It's got comfy seating for up to 8 people in a spacious cargo area, so you can deliver the kids to practice with all their gear. And the Pilot has standard Honda sensing and available all-wheel drive to help keep your family safe on the road. Plus, the Pilot is an available rear entertainment system that can keep everyone in back, you guessed it, entertained. So hurry into your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Pilot today.
Hendrick. Find new adventures, find new roads, find a new car buying experience at the all-new Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet. Save big at the Hendrick Summer Sales Event all month. Get a 2019 Chevy Silverado 1500 truck, up to $12,000 off MSRP. That's right, up to $12,000 in savings. Find honest, trusted service right here on Tennessee Street or shop DaleJuniorChevy.com. Not all vehicles will qualify for maximum discount. Must finance with GM Financial plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer have insurance. See dealer for details.
Hardee's used to think bowls were useless dishware. Then we created the new Loaded Hash Round Bowl. Crispy potatoes, fluffy eggs, sausage gravy, melted cheddar, and crumbled bacon. Now part of our 2 for $4 mix and match deal. No longer are bowls just college football games you can nap to. Now they're loaded with Hardee's delicious breakfast favorites and in our 2 for $4 mix and match. Try a bowl today. They're actually really useful. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Available for a limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
And we're back with another edition of Spring Cleaning. Today, we want to know how you save energy, water, and money during the warmer season. Caller, you're on the air. What do you do to save energy?
With the warmer temperature, I know my AC is working overtime, so I make sure to replace my AC filter once a month.
Excellent suggestion. Next caller, you're on the air.
Well, the city of Tallahassee recommends that I take advantage of their grants and loans to get more insulation in my attic. That's really going to keep my cooling costs down.
These are some great suggestions. There are lots of ways to save. Caller, you're on the air.
I reduce energy for water heating by lowering my water heater temperature and installing low-flow shower heads.
We have time for one more caller. What do you have for us?
I make sure to use my programmable thermostat to regulate the temperature in my home when I'm away.
Thank you, caller. That's all the time we have today.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities would like to help you save as much energy as you can and save money while you're at it. Visit talgov.com for more information and start saving energy today.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
This is Lisa Brady. 17 years ago, I opened Lisa's Paint and Body to provide Tallahassee with an honest repair shop. Thanks to you, our customers, we have outgrown our current location and soon will be moving. Our new location is twice the size, easier access, state-of-the-art equipment, and the newest technology.
ASE and ICAR certified technicians. Personalized attention, guaranteed results. 2820 Mahan Drive. Call 385-2665. Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, MV46050.
Make Edwin Watts Golf the place to shop for dads and grads with their summer savings sale happening now. Get custom fit for free with the tailor-made M5 and M6 drivers, engineered to make everybody faster with speed-injected twist-based technology. And measure your distance with Bushnell GPS and rangefinders and save up to $70. Choose from the Phantom, the Hybrid, or the Tour V4 Shift. Edwin Watts Golf is your place to shop for the hottest golf gear this summer. Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I got asked a question today by Corey. Maybe it was Ira. One of them asked me, how many points would I have to take Florida State against Georgia? The reason this came up is we were talking about the fact that Florida State is the first team to sweep through go on the road as the lower seed and sweep two SEC schools back-to-back in postseason in college baseball. So, I mean, blew Georgia's doors off and then obviously swept LSU. It just doesn't really happen. I mean, those are tough places to play, LSU in particular, obviously. But and so, of course, on the future football schedule is LSU and Georgia. And the person asking me the question said, I'm just worried that our sweep of LSU will cost us in football, like jokingly, right? You know? And I said, well, first of all, if that was happening this year, maybe, but those series are down the line. I mean, we're not playing Georgia this year. We're not playing LSU this year. And so you got time to get prepared. You got time to get right. You got time to become a much better football team, which we're going to need to do by the time we play those two teams. Yeah. So I guess the thought was, if you play Georgia right now, how many points would you need to take Florida State? And just the question, just the thought, just the exercise, right, of having to think in June, given what we last saw at the end of the year, what we would have to comfortably bet Florida State plus whatever against Georgia looks like what?
To comfortably bet Florida
State. Okay. You would jump at it. You would call the bookie and say, I want to put an illegal wager on Florida State plus 20 whatever. and then feel comfortable about it. You think I'm starting in the right ballpark, right? It's in the 20s?
I think it's in the 20s. I'd be much more comfortable, obviously, in the 30s. I think the 40s. The 40s is ridiculous, but the 30s, I think, is not ridiculous, especially if it's up there. But we're going neutral site, I'm assuming.
Neutral
This sounds
site.
like a Corey question just because it is Georgia.
Yeah, but no, it's an interesting thing. I mean,
28.5 to be comfortable.
28.5?
Yeah.
4+ touchdowns?
Yes.
Oh, good God.
You're asking me comfortable, not feeling, this could work, feeling comfortable.
That is crazy, man. That's a lot. I mean, that's pitiful.
I mean, honestly, it might be more like 31.5.
Oh, come on now. Come on. What are they?
They could do whatever they wanted to us. If you're basing it on what we saw last year at the end of the year, man, they could run it right down our throats, and they could stop us on first down. They win first down. I mean, 31.5 might not cover.
I know.
We saw what Clemson did to us in our own building, and they didn't even get going until the late second quarter.
It just really hurts the soul, man.
Syracuse blew us out.
Just think about that. It's just nuts. I mean, you're talking about taking 31.5 points. I think, what are we, 100-1 to win the national championship? 120-1?
Really?
To win the national championship next year?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think we're 120-1.
That seems way too optimistic. Think about the path to a title. It's through Clemson and through the SEC. You got to win. To get to the playoff, maybe 120-1. To win it? No.
Well, then that means you just think we're awful.
No, I think we've got no chance to win the title. I think it's 1 in 5,000. Give me plus 5,000 to win the national championship. I mean, it's got to be something ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Man, I
5,000-1. I mean,
yeah. I'll just say that I'll be very interested to see how we play week 1. That's all I keep alluding to. Saturday, August 31st, 7 p.m. in Jacksonville, Boise State. It's not the barometer of a championship, team or anything like that. It's whether or not you got a chance to get lucky and post a better record than you probably have a right to, based on improvements here and a relatively easy schedule. If you go out and take care of business against Boise State by 3 touchdowns, okay, well, then I'm going to begin to feel pretty decent about our chances to go on the road and beat Virginia, which at that point we're going to be 3-0, and you could run into 9 wins with this schedule and really not be that good a football team. The same way Miami has done that a few times, where we all know they're not any good. It's smoke and mirrors. They're going to get their comeuppance before the year's up, but they get going early and they gain some momentum, and people think rightly or wrongly that they're good, and you try to turn around and use that to your advantage in recruiting.
I mean, do you think we have a greater than 0% chance to win the national championship this year?
Yeah, I think by definition we do, but I would say that
does the plague hit the country or something?
I think that if your offensive line, that's a big if, is functional, you see that they're actually an offensive line that merits being in the Power 5. Just serviceable. Serviceable may be asking too much. In truth, and I'm not even saying that jokingly, serviceable. They were not serviceable last year. They were straight up the Achilles heel. They were the reason, beginning and end, along with dysfunction and lack of organization, but they made it impossible to truly gauge just who was responsible for the putrid play. Because every time you think you know the offensive line, turnstile, play blown up, I don't know if that's a good call or a bad call. I don't know if that if that quarterback or that coach or whomever is doing things the right way, because the play is over before it begins. So if you can get me to where they're serviceable, they give you a fighting chance to win a play, I can have a better understanding of what I think is possible. Right now, if they're serviceable, I think you could win 8-9 games.
Absolutely, which is a completely different discussion than winning the national championship.
No, they're not. I mean, we're not talking about them having a legitimate or realistic chance to win a national championship.
That's why I think that.
But it's not at zero.
Well, that 120 is just it's out there so they could induce some suckers to bet. Because, I mean, what would the odds have to be for you to put down $10 or $100 on Florida State to win the national championship?
Yeah, you're just throwing your money into the wind. That's all you're doing there. That's one of those bets where you go out to Vegas. You've had a few too many. You walk up to the thing, you're like, well, I'm going to bet $20 on the Noles.
Yeah, it's your least due at signing number.
Yeah, and you wake up in the morning and you go, why did I just throw $20 to the wind?
What are the chances that a doorman lives in the penthouse of the building that he's opening the door for?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, right? I mean, but, if Stanford Samuels Jr. leads the country in interceptions, you get a modicum of improvement from the offensive line, and Tamorrion Terry is unguardable. James Blackman standing upright. We've got guys spread out, mitigating some of the weaknesses of the O-line. Kendall Briles is in rhythm. We're feeling good.
I don't care what the Vegas odds say of winning the national title and versus this other team, but if we won the national championship this year, that would be more unlikely than Leicester City winning the Premier League. And I know what those numbers were, and they were astronomical, but I'm telling you, those preseason numbers are more accurate for us than 120-1.
That's funny.
It's true.
The U.S. Open starts tomorrow.
It's an afterthought. So much other stuff going on.
But not really. I'm starting to get locked in now. You know who I had to take today? Patrick Cantlay. I like the pick.
Yeah, it's not a long course, and he in the strokes gained categories is
unbelievable.
As consistent, more consistent than anybody on the tour.
Yeah, and he's been on fire. All those top tens, he's been great. I don't feel bad about that. I had an opportunity when I made the pick to take Dustin Johnson, and I didn't do it. I don't love the course for him. I don't love the course for him. I don't love the course for Brooks, frankly.
Agreed.
I don't love the course for Brooks. I mean, he could win because he's freaking Brooks Koepka, and he's a badass, and he's perpetually angry at everybody. And so maybe he's got more anger left in him. He did yesterday.
Maybe we should play this clip for him, and then he'll put your face with a clown nose on it on Twitter.
Oh, that'd be good publicity for me.
Yes, it would.
I would do it. All right, do it, Brooks.
That means you get a Brandel interview.
I'm doing a show tonight with Trey Jones, and what better promotion than to have Trey Jones, Brooks Koepka's former coach, and his cohort, Jeff Cameron, also a Knoll, but critical of Brooks Koepka to the point where he's got a clown. I'd wear one while we did the show. We'd film it. If I could motivate Brooks to win it, just give me a club out of the bag, baby.
So this yesterday, I was getting some work done on the old cable and internet in the house. We had one device go bad.
Yep.
Well, it's not just that. There's issues into the ground, and so there's extra work being done to get this.
What in the world?
They're working. I'm getting the velvet rope treatment, but it's still taking time.
It takes time.
There's nothing I've missed more this week in terms of live television than live from the U.S. Open on Golf Channel. I've not seen 1 minute of it, and it's killing me.
And it's been really good. You need to watch it on your iPad or something.
Yeah,
you got to figure something out.
I've been bumming Wi-Fi, and that's how I've been catching up.
You've got to do it, buddy. It's been awesome. The course looks great. Get on it. You got tonight to get prepped mentally. Get ready to go.
I know.
It starts tomorrow.
It's like I got to cram.
Yeah, it's on. It's getting ready. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
It's almost summer, and the whole family wants to get outside. Luckily, the incredible Honda Pilot is here to help. It's got comfy seating for up to 8 people in a spacious cargo area, so you can deliver the kids to practice with all their gear. And the Pilot has standard Honda sensing and available all-wheel drive to help keep your family safe on the road. Plus, the Pilot has an available rear entertainment system that can keep everyone in back, you guessed it, entertained. So hurry into your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Pilot today.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the all-new Infiniti of Tallahassee, the newest Kraft Brothers dealership. As we get ready to break ground on the new Kraft Infiniti store, Peter and I thought, why not have a founding 50 with lots of cool stuff for 50 special buyers? And when we say special benefits, we mean it. Here's just some of what you'll get. Free lifetime oil changes, free lifetime powertrain warranty, and free gas fill-up with factory-scheduled maintenance. I told you this was special, and there's more. Free car wash and loaner cars, a gold license plate frame, and a commemorative brick at our new store. Plus, my favorite, the white glove treatment with front-of-the-line service priority. It's Tallahassee's first truly VIP car buying and servicing experience. So if you're in the market for a luxury vehicle, you need to look at Infiniti of Tallahassee. Seriously, no haggle pricing, and every time you come in for factory-scheduled maintenance, we change your oil for free, wash your car, and even fill it up with gas. It's Infiniti of Tallahassee's founding 50, so prepare to be pampered. Infiniti of Tallahassee, 3355 Capitol Circle Northeast, next to Ted's Montana Grill.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com. I know you know this, and you probably have already suggested it, and maybe she's already had it. But, Tom, I'm bringing your girlfriend into the fold to talk about Bumpa's Local 3.
Don't you bring her in here.
I'm telling you now that she would love the ahi salad.
Oh, yes.
Did I get it right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
that was
delicious.
That was the first thing she ever tried, and now anytime we are in the neighborhood, which is, a Capitol Circle right between I-10 and Centerville. Like
you're
right
giving
in
the people
there.
the location for Bumpa's Local 349.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I like it.
Yes.
They have delicious food. I like tacos. You can't screw up tacos, but they do really good tacos.
I am a big fan of the Uncle Sal because the Uncle Sal is sausage, peppers, and onions. You can't go wrong with that trio, man.
You like the peppers and onions more than I do.
It must be like a New York thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Everybody's a little bit Italian because they're coming from New York because the peppers and onions isn't exactly Irish
I like
cuisine.
It when they're cooked up like that.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
like
hard to beat. A little mustard? Yeah.
I'm forever going to champion the wings and the Cobb salad. It's Bumpa's Local 349. They got live music. They've got a number of televisions and, of course, tasty beverages, man. Good stuff.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. It's the Father's Day sale at Ace. Hurry in and save hundreds on Dad's favorite brands like Milwaukee, DeWalt, Craftsman, Traeger, and Yeti. Plus, Ace has an extensive lineup of steel outdoor power tools, so you can be sure to find something you'll love. And save time when you buy online and pick up in store. Make this Father's Day one that Dad will always remember, with great gifts from the best brands. All at your local Ace. Offers valid on select items at participating stores through June 17th. See store for details.
Exciting news for you loyal Florida State fans. Now you can show your Seminole pride plus get 15% off all regular priced FSU merchandise during Team Tuesdays. Remember to stop by any Garnet and Gold store location on Team Tuesdays and take 15% off all regular priced FSU apparel. It's that easy during Team Tuesdays at Garnet and Gold. If you're a Seminole, we're your store. Shop local and go Noles.
Stop by Garnet and Gold's 3 Tallahassee locations or garnetandgold.com. 2019 Nike Coaches apparel has now arrived. Visit Garnet and Gold's 3 Tallahassee locations or garnetandgold.com.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Getting you set. Coming up, Seminole Headlines, 2 hours. Me and the boys from warchant.com. It's a good one. You'll enjoy it. Stay tuned for that. But we needed this hour. We had to catch up. There are all these little things that demand our attention, Tom, that we talk about. I mean, I didn't even get to everything because we talked about the NBA Finals and KD's injury and fans cheering and a lot of stuff there, man, mixed in with some Knowles baseball. But you know what I didn't talk about before I get to probables? Just because I think it's funny, and I know a lot of people either mockingly talked about it today, were mad that they were talking about it today and thought this is a non-issue, or really either feigned concern or had real legitimate beef with the women's national team dropping 13 on Thailand. And by the way, I watched it. I know it was my birthday yesterday, but that was on in the background. And I saw a good bit of the 13 goals and all the celebrations. And it's the World Cup, man. Goal differential in your group matters at some point. So, A, let's start with the people that say you shouldn't keep scoring. BS. You should score as many goals as you can because it could matter in your pod. It could matter. So that argument goes out the window. Besides, it's the World Cup. It's not a friendly. It's the World Cup.
Oh, I think if this were match 3, you could just play keep away for an hour. I mean, that's hard. It's almost hard to do. But since it's match 1, if you're the United States coach, you say to yourself, well, everybody's got to play this squad, so I better run it up.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Goal
Yeah.
differential can come into play because everybody's going to score on them. Obviously, they suck. They're terrible. So anybody who's any good is going to score a lot of goals on them, evidently. And so, you got to do what you got to do because it could come into play. Also, soccer's not football. I can't mass sub. You get 3 of them. I can't replace everybody the way that I could in football. I could run every one of my non-redshirted kids out there, and I could run the ball up the middle up 70-0, and I would. But soccer's not that way. So,
What are you supposed to do? Play keep away until they're back in your own 18?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In soccer, you can play, as they call it, play back, which is to advance and then purposely go
But
all
if
the
you're
way back.
13 goals better, and probably more than that, better than the team across from you, I mean, that's at
Yeah,
some
no.
point.
I think the issue was that they celebrated as if their 13th goal was their first goal. And people had problems with that.
Yes.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I got to be careful. Women's sports and men's sports are different. They just are. First of all, if you don't believe me, go to a baseball game and go to a softball game and watch the promo we ran forever happen. Celebrating strikeouts, cheering people on and stuff. And I always hate that. Also, the chatter in a softball game was an issue we talked about on the air, and guys got mad at me. They're like, oh, it's part of the women's game. Let them do it. It's uniquely them. I think it's Bush League. I think it sounds ridiculous. Sounds like we're a bunch of 10-year-olds out here going, blah, 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 blah. It's ridiculous. I hate it. It's annoying to listen to. But there's an example where the sexes are different. They just are. And, I think guys would have hurt somebody. I'll tell you that. Because we're a-holes. We're not good sports. Men are not good sports. I mean, this is half of an indictment of women and half of an indictment of men. If I scored the 8th goal on your team and celebrated in your face, Tom, I have a suspicion you're taking me out the next time I have an opportunity or that you get your first chance. And you're not going to feel bad about that. And people would argue over that was the right thing or the wrong thing.
Right.
But it would have happened.
And it would have been argued, and I bet a lot of people would have said, well, at some point, it is the right thing.
Amongst men, we would have.
Little Ndamukong Suh to the
I'm just saying this is what
region?
happens. I've been a guy my whole life, and I'm telling you, this is what happens. You're up 40 shooting threes. Somebody's getting hurt. You're celebrating said 3 up 28 in the 4th with a 3, you're holding it up.
Well, they better be walk-ons in college if it's a college game.
That's right. That's right. There are rules within the rules. Now you're a walk-on, celebrate your 3, man. You're never going to get to do this again or rarely. Okay, got you. You're a starter. You've already, we've got issues. So this will be handled. And we can get into the pettiness of all that and so forth, but I wasn't surprised to see the celebration. The celebrating nuance between men and women is very different in most sports. It just is. And something that has leaked over into men's sports that bothers me to no end is when men miss free throws and they're dapping.
That's been going on for a long time.
It's dumb. Stop doing that.
We're going on almost 30 years of
There's no reason for it. None. You missed your free throw. I'm not going to boo you. You're my teammate. I'm not going to say something that causes you to go mental. I'm not dapping you for a missed free. Make your free throw, man. Let's go. But anyhow, that said, I thought the celebrations were a bit much. It's not the end of the world. It's not worth sitting and spending 20 minutes on. It's fascinating to listen to the people today talk about this on every show and get passionate about it.
Well,
it's June.
Yes.
I know, I get it. It's June, and you can't do 3 hours of the NBA Finals. You can't. Because if you could, you probably would. And you could if you were in an NBA market. You could if you're in an NBA market or you're one of these markets.
Well, if you're talking about the balance of the NBA,
you
now
can
being
do that.
destroyed.
Yeah.
At least if you live in Madison Square Garden area.
Maybe. They'll still give him the Supermax in 4 years if he wants it.
Right. And
he won't play next year. But they're still going to pay him.
KD will be like Drake. He'll just be sitting there. How did KD react to the Knicks?
Please don't let that be the case. Sweet Jesus. Now, it could affect the balance of the league because he could just choose to stay at Golden State and they'll pay him.
Well, is somebody going to go to New York for him, for a year and wait and just play and wear one?
Oh, man.
I mean, the plan could be draft third, bring in a superstar, bring in KD, right? He has to wait, and so the other superstar kind of has to wear it. Maybe they load manage the other superstar. He plays 49 games this year.
What a disaster for Knicks fans. They're like,
they get another lottery pick, and then now we're rolling.
The second he went down, I was watching when it happened, and I thought, oh, New York, Jesus, man. I thought of the Knicks.
I thought of people listening to ESPN radio, like cab drivers and passengers, Uber passengers.
In New York?
Heard in New York, and they're all going, "Mother!"
Are you? Of course, that just happened.
It's Kestisher,
Yeah.
and he's down. Durant is down.
Oh, are you effing kidding me with this?
Oh, the long faces on the court. Oh no.
Probables. Here we go. Fire away.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
There's another thing that happened while we were away. Josh Donaldson and then freaking ump show throws out our starting pitcher, one batter into the game of a 4-game set where we're already beleaguered. Major League Baseball is going to get a handle on that stuff, by the way. They did the same thing the other night at first base with a guy who looked back at the home plate umpire because of a pitch that was outside on the previous pitch. Didn't say a thing. And the first base umpire threw him out. Not our game, another game.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, the ump show has to stop. Nobody's there to see the umpires.
We're going to take away their privileges. Robot strike zone. Let's do it.
Well, but see, then you also have a situation because, I guess you'd have to have a home plate umpire, though. He has to discern, was it intentional, not intentional, hand out warnings.
He's still got to be there.
Yeah,
he's got to be there. His job's going to be a lot like a third base umpire now. Not a lot going on.
Yeah. So, as we roll it over to Seminole headlines, as that starts, so does baseball. The Rangers will take on the Red Sox. Lance Lynn, Rick Porcello. Later tonight, D-backs and Phillies.
Rick Porcello, another name that's just been around and around and around.
Porcello's been around for a long time. He used to be good. Remember in Detroit?
I feel like he was, trade deadline guy for 3 or 4 years in a row.
I think he was. I think you're right. We got the D-backs and the Phillies, Merrill Kelly and Zach Eflin. We've got the Blue Jays and the Orioles, and the Blue Jays insist in their lost season to throw Edwin Jackson out there. 0-4 with 11-9-0. What are we doing? That is crazy. Yeah, by all means, buy tickets. Come out and see us. We're serious about winning.
Imagine being like a 32-year-old in their AAA, and you're got a 350, and you're like, I just want a taste of the show.
One shot.
I don't care if 12 people are at Sky Dome.
Oh, my God. So think about how bad he's been. He allowed 6 runs on 6 hits and 3 1/3 innings against the Yankees on Thursday and lowered his ERA.
Right. If he puts up a 0 in an inning, that's a development.
Serious deal. Meanwhile, the guy he's facing tonight, David Hess, is 1-8 with a 7.08.
Jeez.
Ready for 20. Take the over. Cards, Marlins, Miles Mikolas.
Yes.
Marlins to be determined. Pirates throw Mitch Keller. Ugh. Had to bring him up. Mike Sirocco will pitch for the Braves. Mariners, Twins, Tommy Maloney, Jose Barrios. Barrios is good. I bring that to everybody's attention often. They're 44-21. Brewers and Astros, Brandon Woodruff, Justin Verlander. The Twins are going to go to the postseason with the best record in baseball, and nobody's going to know it. They're going to go, the Twins? The Twins made the playoffs? Oh, they won 115 games, John. No, not the Twins. I just feel like they just win every night and nobody knows.
It's pretty much correct.
Brandon Woodruff, Justin Verlander. A good matchup between the Brewers and the Astros. We got the Tigers and the Royals. Daniel Norris, Danny Duffy. Padres, Giants in a game nobody will watch because it's on late. And the Giants are terrible. I feel bad for Buster Posey having to be on that team. Joey Lucchesi, I shouldn't feel that bad. He's got 3 titles. Joey Lucchesi pitches for the Padres, and Sean Anderson will go for the Giants. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. Amongst the things revealed momentarily on Seminole Headlines, Corey Clark is driving to Omaha. Sir. Look, there are ways. My mother flies out tomorrow morning to New Hampshire. She's actually landing in Boston and then going over to New Hampshire. She is deathly afraid of flying. So Corey and her share this, right? But she's learned that's what alcohol's for. And or Xanax, or both, whatever. You get knocked out and you call it a day and you wake up at your destination. You don't drive 19 hours in a van.
In a van? He rented a van?
He's taking a van. He's going because he's bringing his girlfriend and his kid, but I mean, God, dog.
Okay.
You and I just spent 6.5 hours in the car to come back.
Well, twice. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
In a short period of time, and we did it well. We're good travel companions. We get it. We lock in and we go.
We're single-shot artists, man.
Yeah, we're just going. We're going. Every now and then you got to pee. Every now and then you got to get gas. That's about the end of it. Let's go. But, you know, and we're capable of having long stretches where we just listen to a podcast or music, and then we engage in conversation, then we get locked back into something. That's 6.5 hours. We get along swimmingly. And I still couldn't wait to be done driving.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is.
It's not even about the company. I'm just saying, like, ooh, you get so much time in a car.
Yep.
8's about the most.
And listen, and now put your children in the car.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what
because they got to stop. I mean, they don't.
Every few hours.
They don't have it in them yet.
No. Oh, I've had to channel inner patience for long drives with the kids. We drove to D.C. We wanted to stop a bunch of places along the way. And every, 3 hours, I got to pee. Well, that's good. That's good. You're going to hold it. And Christy looking at me like, Father of the Year over here, pull over. Fair enough. But it's hard. It's difficult because we have a whole different mindset. You know?
I got to pee is only the first warning
That's
sign.
the first warning sign. We're a good 2 hours from peeing.
You're damn right we are.
Duly noted.
I learned as a kid, man. I had to pee in the first period of a Lightning game at the Thunderdome back in the day. And I remember the first time I was able to make it to the end of the game. I was so proud.
You're like training your bladder.
I was.
Yeah. Well, we will figure this out. I don't want to miss games.
I was a straight shot artist early on in my life with long road trips. My parents were the ones who had to stop.
That's what you do, right?
I'd go, come on, guys.
Buck up. We're trying to get somewhere. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. But stay tuned. Seminole Headlines is next. After Seminole Headlines, Front Row Knowles. After what? The Braves?
And then the Braves and the Pirates.
Good Lord. Am I allowed to say goodbye, or do we have something else we have to announce?
We got to get out now.